Hi everyone, my name is Kate Ingersoll and I'm a writer and novelist from Toledo, Ohio. For those of you who have seen my previous videos, you know that I recently re-released a novel called The Lace Makers. And today I'd like to just talk briefly about the reason that I decided to have the novel take place on only one day in each of the characters' lives. When I was in college, I read a book called A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich, and it was about a man who had lived through a concentration camp experience. And I don't, while at the time I didn't really pay attention to character development, I paid more attention to the actual happenings in the day that he experienced. I thought it was really interesting to just get that tiny little snapshot on his day. When I decided to write The Lace Makers back in 2015, or maybe it was 2014 when I did the research, I remember talking to someone about wanting it to be in just one day. And I couldn't decide which day. And he very wisely said, why not the day before they're free, the last day of their captivity? And so that I ran with it. I thought, what a great idea. So Emerald's story takes place on the very last day of the Civil War, and she knows that freedom is imminent, as does her mother and the people on the plantation. And then Karen's story takes place on the day before her camp is liberated. And she doesn't know that necessarily, but she has inklings at the beginning of the novel that the British are coming to liberate the camp because other camps had been liberated. And so the stories take place in very micro movement elements. Emerald's story especially, it takes place in just her ability to observe the day-to-day life experiences that she witnesses, not only for herself, but with the master's wife, the master's children, and of course her own mother. And so hers is more lyrical. Readers have said that she has a more lyrical voice than Karen's. Now, because Karen was not born into slavery or born into incarceration, she of course had a life as a free person living in Germany. And so each one of her chapters begins with the present moment of what's actually happening in the concentration camp. And then something will trigger a memory. And so her stories have flashback. And both stories start at daybreak. And then they end at the end of the day. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, Emerald's story has one more daybreak associated to it. I put an author's note at the beginning that if you'd like, when you're reading it, you could read all of Emerald's, because each one of her chapters obviously just begins with her name. And then you can read all of Karen's story, but read them both before you read the epilogue, because it'd be meaningful to have both of those stories in your mind when you read that. For those of you who are Toledo, Ohio, or in this area residents, I'm going to be placing an Amazon order, getting a number of books. I'm going to be placing that on Friday. So if you're interested in ordering directly from me, I'll put a link in the bottom how you can contact me to place your order of one or more books. I'd be happy to autograph them for you or for whomever you would like. If you're local, we can arrange a way I can drop those off to you, or we could meet someplace and I could get them to you. If you're out of town, what I normally do is order the books. They arrive here, I sign them, and then I ship them book rate to you. And again, we can discuss that once you order them. So it's a wonderful thing to go on my social media pages, to go on the Amazon website and read the reviews. I truly value and appreciate everyone's interest in this story that I wrote 5 years ago. I find that every time I go on social media, I see something that references the Holocaust or references slavery. And it just is so, for lack of a better word, magical to have this story on my bookshelf that, like I said, I wrote it 5 years ago, but to have it be so, for me, very meaningful in the stories that it tells through these two girls' voices. I'm actually rereading it myself, just so that I can have a fresh look at the story. And I had forgotten some of the scenes that came to me as I was writing it. And they're very, very meaningful to me as a woman and as someone who loves children. So I hope you, if you get a chance to take a look at it on Amazon and read the writing sample. And as I said, if you're interested in ordering one directly from me, just let me know by Thursday. Let's see, that would be July the 2nd. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to sharing more of the lace makers with you. Please feel free to like, share, or comment on this video, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions in further videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.